Oh man, guys, I thought we were so back, and this was peak fire. This is the first and best example of Marvel, just turning everything around. The Thunderbolts, oh my god, like, this is the best thing since the last best thing from Marvel, right? Like, this is peak fire. Oh my god, every Zoomer meme you want to go and talk about. Florence Pugh is going to go ahead and save the MCU, and here you have the Thunderbolts projected to lose $100 million plus, an epic Marvel flop despite high audience scores. People really liked it. They didn't go and see it, but they really liked it. Pathetic. It was a trash movie that deserved to fail. But to piggyback off something we talked about yesterday, this is simply the audience not recognizing faces. A lot of faces that were established on the D+ streaming shows, as well as movies that nobody remembers from years gone by. Meaning that, the moment that Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars cleans up the mess that has been left by the catastrophes of phases 4 and 5, all you're just going to be seeing is more team-ups and the X-Men and Spider-Man just getting milked for all they're worth, and it's just, I just want nothing to do with this future anymore in entertainment. But the Thunderbolts is projected to become a major flop for Marvel, losing upwards of $100 million. The Thunderbolts was supposed to be a return to form. No, it was. Listen to all the shills that were out there. They loved it. Morally gray, character-driven ensemble film featuring beloved anti-heroes like somebody who was mind-controlled from a very young age. Yes, the Winter Soldier, who was also mind-controlled. But these are anti-heroes, right? With a high-octane cast and a more grounded espionage-style narrative, where they have to go ahead and fight, Marvel's version of God. The film promised to reinvigorate a sagging Marvel Cinematic Universe, and did it? Well, it finished 7th this past weekend. 7th. It's still in 2,500 theaters, and it made $4.7 million. What a disaster. It is currently tracking, well, now you can take a look at the little projection screen that's down there. On the incredibly low end of the projections, it is going to get wiped out even further. And it only did that well, it's because Disney is still clawing onto these theaters, which they will more than be willing to hand them over to Lilo and Stitch moving forward in order to try to hold off Universal with the How to Train Your Dragon, a live-action remake in a couple weeks' time. So the Thunderbolts, it's going to get kicked to the curb, and deservedly so. Bad movie that is now tracking well behind Captain Black Falcon America Man, because internationally, nobody gives a fuck either. But while we want to talk about, and how I discussed at the beginning there, how only team-ups and established characters from a time gone by are going to be recycled moving forward, a very stark realization for Disney and for a lot of companies that are out there. They've got to come to the conclusion that the streaming model is fucking dead, okay? Because Daredevil bombs hard. Nielsen Top 100 exposes Marvel's huge flop. Like, this is disastrous, okay? This is something, okay? For as much as they were just going to go ahead and try to float Cap 4 out there, it's like, we tried to make the best of a bad situation. But the Thunderbolts is better, but they were actually enthusiastic. They thought that, oh my god, guys, Daredevil Born Again, this is the real deal. We're really happy about this, and guess what? Nobody watched. Nielsen has released a list of the most popular and top 100 shows of 2024-2025, which reveals just how bad the Daredevil Born Again ratings really are, and they come in at the bottom of the list. Oh boy. The series falls under Marvel's Agatha. Oh god. Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Oh Jesus. Disney Plus automatically has a Nielsen tracking turned in user accounts and the industry standard to measure viewership. Okay, and Daredevil Born Again came in at 92 with 5.8 million viewers at a 35-day viewing window. Agatha came in at 45 with 9 million viewers. Skeleton Crew at 84 with 6.3. And your top 10 is hilarious. Where's Rings of Power? Because Prime Video is represented with Reacher, something that cost a fraction of that billion-dollar budget, but that's very interesting. But can Marvel save Daredevil? Season 2 tries to clean up a mess. No, man, because it's building on an already rotten foundation. And you take a look once again at that top 10, no Hulu either. Okay, one ABC representative at number 5, and I've never even heard of High Potential. Like, that doesn't even ring any bells at all whatsoever. The rest of the stuff I've at least kind of heard about, except Zero Day and Nobody Wants This. That's just what I say about a lot of the Marvel stuff that we talk about on a regular basis. But the rest of it I've never heard of before. But this is going to send, it's a very clear message, and it's something that, the one competent Star Wars creator literally ever since Disney took over that he has pointed out, but we'll touch on that over the weekend. I've got that video in the can for everybody. Because once again, he makes a very, very good point. But That's all right, guys, okay? Because Bob Iger and Kevin Feige say that they're going to be focusing on quality, not quantity anymore. Just a couple of D+ shows every year and 3 movies and a couple of animated films, okay? Animated features, okay? We're focusing on quality, not quantity. And next up, well, it's just going to be another team-up movie that nobody exactly wants. Feige says this time they'll get it right? Okay, see, okay, even though we were totally back with the Thunderbolts, okay? Even though Deadpool and Wolverine, oh my god, it poked fun at Marvel. Okay, oh, see, they can have fun. They can have a good laugh at themselves. They realize that they've gone wrong. They can go ahead and right the ship. There's still juice in them Marvel titties, right? I mean, go ahead and milk out some success, but this time we'll get it right with Fantastic Four. So what are you also revealing? That you were getting it wrong beforehand? But the Fantastic Four teases superpowered kids. Oh, fuck off. You're doubling down on those cringe kids. What are we doing, dude? Holy Christ, man. You have Marvel's first family, and you already want to jump ahead to the end point to the original Fantastic Four and introduce those ridiculous kids, the most powerful and the smartest mutant ever. I forget what the daughter's called, but set up Franklin Richards, who is essentially god of Marvel. Like, what? Ugh. Kevin Feige has big things to say about Fantastic Four first steps to match the galactic-sized debut of Galactus in the movie. The Vanessa Kirby also further opens up about playing the Invisible Woman Sue Storm and hints that it's not just the adults that have superpowers. The movie is featured in the latest issue of Empire magazine, which sports 2 FF covers and includes new images of Kirby, Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, yes, off in the corner with Sue very much in the middle, which is what we have heard before. It's her movie. Get used to it. She's the Invisible Woman. You got to deal with it. Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige says that the film is a dream project. I think that there are no 4 characters that are more important to the history of Marvel. Sure thing, pal. He added that Disney's acquisition of Fox made it possible to finally bring the team to the MCU. When Disney bought Fox, it was really an unexpected dream come true. It came at the perfect time to help us launch into a new era. Yeah, right at the tail end of everybody giving a fuck about the MCU. Yeah, just go ahead and shoehorn in at this artificial point where, this is the beginning of Phase 6. Well, actually, kind of, sure, we're going to introduce the Fantastic Four at the beginning of Phase 6 instead of the perfect point, bringing in the Fantastic Four to bring in Phase 4 and build up a new crop of talent for your post-Endgame landscape. Yeah, it's perfect time now, though, because this is when we're releasing the movie. Sure thing, pal. But while Kevin Feige can go ahead and glaze all of the shit that he has fucked up beforehand and just try to rewrite history, we can listen to this TV director, WandaVision stuff is just, high quality shit that has really stood the test of time. Matt Shakman, Fantastic Four director, says that Sue Storm is Fantastic Four's leader and describes her as essentially the Secretary General of the UN. Oh, okay, so blustery and otherwise ineffectual. Fantastic stuff. I don't necessarily know if you're saying what you think you're saying, but the Fantastic Four First Steps director Matt Shakman shared more details about the upcoming film and specifically Sue Storm's role in the film. Speaking to Empire about the film, Shakman describes Sue Storm as essentially the Secretary General of the UN, inspiring, idealistic leader of the Fantastic Four represents, and she is in some of the later comic runs. Wait, what? No, she's in the Fantastic Four. She's pretty important, you idiot. Shakman's comments are the latest in the now growing laundry list of the film will be infected with feminist ideology. Vanessa Kirby, who played Sue Storm back in April, said that the film would be exploring gender politics with her character. She told Entertainment Weekly, if you played an exact 60s Sue today, everyone would think she was a bit of a doormat. Nope, they would have liked her and would have applauded Marvel for actually having like a healthy family dynamic. But no, we need to go ahead and have a cuck husband and a domineering woman in charge. Yay, that's what everybody wants to see. So figuring out how to capture the essence of what she represented to each generation where the gender politics were different and embody that today was one of the greatest joys of this. One of the things I love the most from Sue's history is when she becomes Malice and all that dark stuff. For fuck's sakes, you want to do all of this subversive shit. You want to just go ahead and speed run to the cringe shit after everybody was done exploring all of the fun things that you could do with the character. No, just go ahead and, it would be like, I don't know, introducing the X-Men and then immediately speedrunning Jean Grey to being the Dark Phoenix. Yeah, we need to just go ahead and do, everybody knows Dark Phoenix. Everybody loves that stuff. Man, I hate all of this stuff, man. It just pisses me off to no end. And it apparently pisses off the test audiences because recent Fantastic Four test screenings reportedly mid. Yeah, that's even worse because apathy's the real killer, okay? Because you could piss off audiences, but they'll still talk about it and you'll still just get those otherwise adversarial individuals to go and check out the project. If you at least elicit an emotion, you elicit a response from an audience, they'll go and check it out. Unless, of course, it's like Rachel Zegler with Snow White, and that's in a hyper-specific nuclear example, okay? Or very likely never to see something like that again. I would argue in certain aspects Pedro Pascal is trying to elicit that type of response from the audience, but for whatever reason, not quite getting to that level. Maybe he's not quite so adversarial with everybody involved, but I digress. Maybe just try to pick a fight with some of your cast members. That could end up working, I guess. But no. If you elicit apathy, if people just come out and say, it's fine, whatever, okay, that's when you know you're in trouble. While you might highlight rather inconsistent character work, for most normies that are out there, and specifically with the Lilo and Stitch, with the Minecraft movie being the two biggest hits of the year so far, fucking kill me. We know that people really aren't paying attention to their entertainment. They just want to see the things that they remember on the screen from the other things that they know. But if the CGI is incompetent, that could end up being a killer. Because that was, I think, on top of the Rachel Zegler factor, another big reason why Snow White failed, because of the uncanny valley that the dwarves represented. If you don't have good CGI in this, your average audience goer, they aren't going to have good things to say about this because it doesn't look good, and I go to the movies to be entertained by the pictures and the pixels on the screen. Oh, God, man. It's so sad, right? Because I could tell you 1,000 different reasons why I love Lord of the Rings so much, and why I've just still, on a rather consistent basis, watching the extended trilogy once a month since the end of last year. Why I could just go ahead and tell you multiple times over why I love those, and even why there are still likable and even lovable aspects of the Hobbit trilogy. Very little of it actually has to do with the CGI. Mostly just, it's one of the best examples. Lord of the Rings specifically, just the blending of CGI and practical. Like, you could never practically have a Balrog, even though that would be fucking awesome. And just thinking about how you could have like a mechanized skeleton and have it just spew fire as well with the horns. Like, that could be cool, but yeah, just melding the CGI together and then having them square off with Gandalf, like, that's the coolest shit ever. But it's also the character work, okay? It's just a lot of the monologues that Gandalf gives throughout Fellowship. It's the character development of Aragorn becoming the king at the end of Return of the King, leading up to his coronation at the end. It's Theoden going from being mind controlled from Saruman and then understanding his perceived inadequacies, leading his people to the victory at Helm's Deep, and then ultimately sacrificing himself and giving his life because he ends up saving the realm of men. I can tell you all of that stuff and so many other things. But no, there are some people that are out there that goes, I like it when the horse people ride across the field and then they swing their swords at one another. And I get really sad saying that. But moving back into the Fantastic Four, if people are just coming away with going, wow, the Thing kind of looks like he has a rocky penis on his shoulders, they won't take away that he was also virtually sidelined in the movie. If Pedro Pascal looks like a rubbery mess, okay, that would make a microwave Stretch Armstrong look more realistic than a proper Mr. Fantastic in the movie. They won't realize that he was a cuck who failed and ultimately got talked down to throughout the entire movie. It's just, I don't know, man. I really don't know. We'll have to see in a couple weeks' time. I can't believe we're almost here, but we are. Marvel Studios may have a problem on its hands. According to multiple sources, the most recent test screenings for the Fantastic Four First Steps were held earlier this week in Los Angeles, and the reactions are mixed. Though it's still in post-production phase, which is fucking wild to think about, but we're still here. Initial viewer feedback suggests that the reboot might not be a triumphant return for Marvel's first family that Kevin Feige was hoping for. But no, we're so happy that they're here, and we're finally going to do it right this time. Industry scooper Jeff Snyder, who has been bang on in a lot of stuff recently, here detailed from a source who attended the screenings, describing the film as mid and meh, clarifying that it was not bad, but wasn't good either. Perhaps more concerning are criticisms about weak character development and bad CGI, the latter of which Snyder notes should improve in the coming weeks as visual effects are finalized. That's wild, man. But in general, Marvel doesn't do public test screenings unless they're worried, Snyder wrote. Yes. That was the case with the Eternals, The Marvels, Quantumania, and Brave New World. Oh, shit. While Snyder initially reported that Marvel was high on the project internally, another unnamed source reportedly described the film as a mess and a huge problem movie. movie, echoing language that was once described the Marvels before its disastrous release. Oh shit, yeah, there you have the first appearance of female Silver Surfer. I'm sure it'll get better, right guys? Not all the reactions were negative, however. Snyder did say that Ralph Ineson's portrayal of Galactus, seemed to go over well with audiences. He's got the good voice, and I remember him. He's got the good voice. I like Galactus because I seen him before in the things. Calling that a promising sign. Yay, great, because they remember things. The appearance of Galactus, apparently lifts the film in its latter half, a sentiment echoed by well-known test screening insider, a viewer anon. General reaction, I'm hearing, okay, but it's not a big sample size. A couple people have said that the first act's shaky, but it gets better, once the action picks up a bit. God damn it, man. So it's going to be a bad movie, but it could have enough key jangles at the end, and it could just have enough pixels and splash art on the screen to make it tolerable. Fucking end me. Man, for a very fleeting period of time, I was hoping that it was going to be good. I would have thought that Marvel, with the string of unmitigated disasters, how you just had this ebb of flow of people going, we're so back, and then finally realizing that it was shit, then, oh my god, this is peak fire with the newest release, and then just going, well, that wasn't very good a week later. They might have been able to course correct long enough to have one of their big IPs, one of their big franchises, the Marvel's first family, come along and do right by them. And then I remember that it's Kevin Feige, and then I seen the people working on this and going, oh god, it's just going to be more Marvel slop, and it could end up being, okay, well, this is going to be Marvel's most consequential film, most consequential release of 2025. I still think that it's going to end up tracking third in the big July tentpole releases. But what's going to end up finishing second? And will it even end up performing better than the Fantastic Four? I think it's going to be a better movie, but what did we think about Superman? Because we got more news about that, but guess what? That's coming up in the next video, so tune in for that one if you are so inclined. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.